All right, my friend, welcome back to the fishing formula. We are now at the reel section, which really we're going to be focusing on exactly what it says. How can you funnel them in the boat? We've already looked at, who's the target prospect? Where do they hang out at? How can you get them to the boat? How can you get them in the boat? And now we really need to set up a process that can funnel them in the boat on an ongoing basis, and really in a scalable way, but also in just an efficient and effective way. So I want you to think about it the same way that we've been thinking about fishing. If you go out and you are going to catch marlin, for example, which is sort of the setup that you're looking at right here. This is the setup to catch big multi-hundred pound marlin. Now these are the fish that, when you get them hooked, it can be a multi-hour fight, and they jump up out of the air. And that chair right there is actually where you sit. You sit in that chair and you have a belt on, or sometimes there's a holder. You can see the little holder right there, the white that you put that on your stomach, and you stick the pole in there. And in many times with some of these chairs, you either have a place to where you can, sort of push your feet against a little step there, or you might even be seat belted in the chair, because you're wrestling these monsters for hours on hours. Okay. The other really important piece, obviously the boat, having the right chair, having the actual right rod and reel. Okay. And so all these pieces allow you to be able to catch marlin. And in this case, you can see they're set up with 5 different reels, and they're not playing around. Well, the same approaches with any fish that you're going to catch. I mean, my dad used to go out shark fishing when he was younger, and it was commercial, right? And they would do something called long lining. So you would have a couple of different reels out the back of the boat, and there'd be hooks and bait every 6 or 12 feet, and the idea was to catch as many as possible. They do the same thing with grouper and other fish. You put down a really long line that might last a mile long, and you try to catch as many as you can. So this process happens fishing. We can use the same idea when we're marketing. Okay, we want to figure out what is the best process or funnel. And this is essentially a diagram of a funnel, right? And I know that's a term that's thrown around a lot. You probably have heard it a million times before. You log on to the internet nowadays, you get anywhere inside of the internet marketing space, and you hear people talking about sales funnels. It's a term that's overused, but very few people really understand what it is and how to build a proper sales funnel that you can actually use to get customers, do repeat business with those customers, and sell those customers higher ticket products. Which, if you remember back to the earlier section when we were talking about picking, actually it was in the very first section of the fishing formula, we brought up the Jay Abraham, what are the 3 ways to make money in a business? It's get more customers, do repeat business with those customers, sell those customers higher ticket products. So a sales funnel essentially allows you to do that. It allows you to practice the principles of direct response marketing, which is clear, specific offers. When somebody lands on a page, you want them to enter their email. That's the direct response that you're trying to get them to give you. When they enter their email, they go to the next page. They watch one video on the page. You're asking them to give you a direct response. So if we think about just high level what a sales funnel is, it's about just funneling as many leads in to the top of the funnel as possible. They kind of more turn into prospects as they qualify themselves. They say, yeah, what's being said here fits for me, or I have that pain too, and I'm looking for that solution. And then they might buy an introductory product. They become a customer, and then they might buy a second product, maybe an immediate upsell, or maybe a second helping serving down the road, right, from an email follow-up. And then they might buy something else from another follow-up, or maybe from a phone call or a webinar that's a little bit deeper in the funnel. And I mean, there's a couple of different ways we can think about funnels. The first funnel is the initial funnel that they go through. And we're going to mainly focus on that in this video because that's really what you need to spend the majority of your time kind of dialing in, is just your initial funnel. But also I want you to think about funnels as being deeper than that. You know, once somebody actually comes through that initial sales funnel, which might be, you know, a landing page, a bridge page, and sees your initial offer, well, maybe that initial company that you're promoting, the product that you're an affiliate of for that first serving, that first helping, maybe they have a deep funnel to where they're going to sell them something introductory, and then they're going to get them on a webinar. Maybe they'll have a phone call with them down the road. See, the funnel can, there's also an element of deepening the funnel, right? So funnels can be deep too. So I want you to think of funnels both in that immediate sense of what am I doing with the person once I've chummed the waters with good edutainment content and I'm getting them to come to a landing page or a bridge page and then move on through my initial funnel. But I also want you to think about the fact that if you're going to, either as a product owner, selling your own courses and coaching, or if you're going to be promoting a product or a service or a company who's selling information and you're the affiliate of them, I want you to also be paying attention to how deep is their funnel. Because one of the things that you're going to learn in the next video when we talk about choosing a product is it's nice to oftentimes be able to earn multiple commissions because the product you're promoting also has a deep funnel. Does this make sense? So that initial product that you're promoting, sure, you get that upfront commission, but isn't it nice also to be able to earn more commissions? And if you partner with the right companies, then a lot of times you have an opportunity to be able to earn a piece of each sale as they continue through that company's funnel as well. So let's go back to one of these kind of core principles that I talk about all the time, which is mechanics dynamics. And I want to relate this specifically to your marketing, to your sales funnel. So the mechanics, which are really the technical setup, the pages and or the process that you use to generate leads to the offers that you promote, those mechanical pieces are the pieces that a lot of people kind of see and they focus on. But I want you to not forget the dynamics, which is the edutainment quality in your content, in the product-specific hero story you use to recommend a specific product, and all that equals how much a prospect knows you, likes you, and will ultimately trust you, and then, of course, buy from you, okay? So the mistake that I don't want you to fall into that so many new and untrained and naive affiliates fall into is, oh, if I just get the pages set up, it's all about the tech. And then they get so overwhelmed and so focused on the tech, the mechanical pieces, that they forget to really focus on the pieces that are most important, which again are the ability to be able to persuade through your content and the various elements of your bridge page funnel. If you're an affiliate, for example, your landing page, then your hero story, which you'll use the hero script on your bridge page before you then go and recommend that product. So just a nice little nugget to keep in your back pocket here. Now let's move on and let's focus on a few more of these mechanical pieces. But we've gone over so much of the dynamics that my hope is that that is hopefully firmly cemented in your brain by now, that those pieces are equally as important, and you need to continue to learn those, test those, improve those dynamics, that edutainment quality in your content, your hero story. Those things really, really matter. So let's look at a couple of funnels here, all right? So the first funnel that I want to look at is the free Facebook phishing funnel. And I'm going to just basically use the graphic that I've been using throughout this entire training, because I've actually created this graphic for this specific purpose. So you could actually print it off and anytime that you go to launch a campaign, you can go through this phishing formula and you can say, okay, who's my target prospect? Okay, where do they hang out at? Got it, Facebook. Okay, how can I get them to the boat? Okay, I'm going to make edutainment posts in groups or on my own Facebook profile, right? And you go through the process there and fill in each one of these blanks and, write down notes. And that way, if something, which it always can be improved, but later on you can look back and say, okay, like other affiliates are succeeding with this, I'm not. Where do I need to go back and get more clear? Or where are people falling through the cracks? Like, where am I not really being specific enough? Or it seems like people are engaging with my content, but they're not really opting into my landing page. Okay, maybe I need to change up my bait, right? Or maybe they're opting into my landing page, but I'm not making sales. Okay, is it something on my landing page or my bridge page? Am I too scripted in my hero script? Is it not coming off authentic, right? You see how this is really a place so I can go back and test and even split test. Say everything's going great. I can go back to my landing page and let me just split test this version of a headline against another one and just see for 30 days, if I convert more of my traffic, if I generate more leads based on how many people landed on that landing page with this new headline versus the old headline. So again, let me digress. Let's talk about the free Facebook phishing funnel here for a second, okay? So the target prospect, let's say, for example, if you're going to use this free Facebook phishing funnel, is biz ops seekers. They're obviously going to be on Facebook. You're going to be doing edutainment posts, which are kind of value posts, right? We talked about this in the chumming section. And then instead of just dropping them a link right on that Facebook post and sending them to your bridge page, instead, you're going to insert one step before that, which is, hey, send me a direct message if you want me to provide you with a free training. And that's going to be the bait. And then you're going to send them in the DM after you've had a little exchange with them. Hey, okay, thanks for direct messaging me. Let me ask you a couple of quick questions. Right? And then you make that exchange in the direct message fun. You also make them qualify you. We're going to give you some scripting for all this later on in the get set up and start fishing with free bait section. We're going to give you the campaigns. We're going to give you examples. We're going to show you real live marketers who are succeeding with these specific campaigns. But I want you to understand, again, the high level to choosing the right funnel to make sure that you can have a predictable and consistent system that brings people in and actually converts them, right? So then your reel is the one-on-one chat, and then after you've had a bit of one-on-one chat, you'll drop them the link to your bridge page, and you'll send them on to the product that you're promoting. Right? And we'll get to that in the next section, in the next episode, what product can get them a result. So let's give some contrast here, okay? Because with the Facebook piece, it's pretty straightforward in terms of, okay, our target customers, biz ops seekers, we're doing it on Facebook, edutainment post, written edutainment post, okay, got it. And then the bait is really, in that post, you're saying, DM me if you would like me to provide you with a free training that I'm talking about in this post that's helped me to start generating to double my lead generation in one day, right? So then they reach out, they DM you, and then one-on-one chat, and then on to the bridge page funnel. But let's look in contrast to the free YouTube phishing funnel, right? And I want you to notice the difference in the graphics here for a second too. So this graphic has like a net it's catching multiple fish at one time, where the free Facebook phishing funnel is really kind of catching one fish at a time. But you've got all the right chum in the bait, and you've got the right reel to do it, right? It's just the YouTube phishing funnel is more about you're not really having that sort of one-on-one interaction. So pay attention, look at the difference. So species, same, right? Target prospect, biz op seekers, where do they hang out at? YouTube, okay? That's where you're going to be building your chumming, your content strategy. You're going to do the same thing, edutainment videos, okay? And then how can you get them in the boat? Well, at the end of the video, you're telling your hero story at the end of the video a little bit, and you're kind of saying, and yes, you can tell your hero story also in a YouTube video at the end as well as on your bridge page. It's not a big deal. But at the end, you're saying, hey, if you'd like more information like this, like the content that I've provided in this video, then go click the link down in my description. And when they go and click the link down in the description, you're going to send them right to the bridge page funnel, right? There's not going to be that one-on-one piece. So there's a difference there basically depending on what platform you're going to be marketing on. It really all depends. The big difference here is whether I'm marketing on Facebook or whether I'm marketing on YouTube. Same thing with TikTok, Instagram. Each platform has a little bit of a different way in which you need to set up your marketing funnel, right? And it's based on the platform. It's based on how people interact on the platform. See, it's not really cool to just drop links on Facebook. You sort of come off as a spammer. It's just kind of a general thing on Facebook. Can't explain it, don't need to explain it, just need to understand the rules of the game, right? Whereas on YouTube, putting a link down in the description of your video is totally normal, totally cool. And the idea on YouTube is that, typically hundreds, maybe thousands of people are going to be watching each video, and they're going to be watching videos 24/7. And there's not even really a direct message feature on YouTube. You don't private message somebody on YouTube. It's just not a thing. Right? You leave comments under their videos, you click links in their description, you subscribe to their channels, but you don't have one-on-one message. Where on Facebook, right? Facebook direct message is huge. It's Facebook's Messenger. It's its own individual little app, and it's connected to Facebook. Facebook owns it, and it's huge, right? And a lot of people even use Facebook Messenger as much or more than they use text message. I mean, Facebook, as of recording this video today, is damn near as popular as text messaging itself, right? It's probably not as widely adopted, but it's not far from it, right? I know people who shut down their Facebook account but leave their actual Messenger open because it's that much of a popular way to communicate with people. So that's why the main difference between these two funnels is just the platform that you're on. So again, we want to take you through the rest of this phishing formula so you can understand these really important principles. We're going to put you through a compliance training just to make sure you understand how to stay compliant and legal and so forth. And then we're going to get you into the specific campaigns in the get set up and start fishing with free bait, where we're going to show you how to set all the pieces up, and we're going to give you actual case studies of marketers in our community using these strategies, being successful with them. But the reason why this phishing funnel training is so important is so you understand why the certain pieces go where they go. Okay? So now we are going to move on to talking about the result, right? What product can get them a result? How might you choose a product based on the niche that you're going to go in, that you're going to sort of plant your flag into? How do you choose a product? What are the things that you should look for as somebody who is partnering with a company or a program to promote their products? I've got a 5-step sniff test. I've got some recommendations. I want to take you and show you some different platforms to show you sort of how to look and determine if a product is even worth promoting, if it's selling, if other people are promoting it, and it'll give you a lot of clarity and give you that understanding to make sure that you're promoting the highest earning products, the most profitable products, and also products that, you can stand by and are not going to ruin or harm your reputation. So I'll see you in the next episode.